Hey everybody, welcome back to another one of my videos. It has been so long since I posted. I don't know, 3 or 4 months. I have been in quite a hiatus, I guess. I actually recorded this whole video, well, probably about 3 or 4 months ago and edited it just as long ago, and just have not spent the time to do the voiceover and post it. I'm not really sure what exactly prevented me from doing it other than pure laziness, but yeah. So I'm just doing some odds and ends cleaning in this video, hence the name Random Clean Video. I was just putting away these Christmas blankets and pillows in a new storage container since the other one was, I think it was ripped or something, I'm not sure. And then getting them up to the attic where they belong. I also spent time cleaning that side table there. I couldn't even tell the last time it was cleaned years ago. Just a bunch of trash in there, as you're gonna see. Just, I don't even know. It's just tons and tons of stuff that definitely did not belong in there. So finally went through my makeup and my makeup brushes, something I haven't done in probably like 2 years, which is very unhygienic when you put on makeup pretty much every day. But that had to be done. I also cleaned under my kitchen sink. A couple months ago, I started doing some detail cleaning and organizing throughout the house, which you'll see in my past videos. I did start doing the kitchen, but there's some things I didn't get to, which was under the sink. I also, in the past couple months, have been pulling out the stove and cleaning the walls. I have yet to pull out my refrigerator and clean behind there. I don't know, these tasks are really just not that hard, but for some reason I just tend to really struggle getting them done. I blame it on my ADHD, I blame it on some time management. Honestly, I just feel like a lot of days I'm just so tired and so exhausted from just everyday life, lack of sleep, and just feeling like I'm constantly doing the same thing every day. I'm sure most people feel that way, but anyway, by the time I have the extra time to do extra things, I don't really want to do them. I would just want to relax. So it's been taking me an awful long time. And I'm sure, I know I'm not alone in this, but it does suck. And it even makes the thought even more depressing when it's been like 3 to 4 months now and I'm still trying to do what I feel should be basic cleaning tasks. And it's just about time that like most people probably do this on a monthly basis, so I probably should have done it 3 to 4 times already, and I haven't yet done it once this year. So I'm trying to get much better at it. That was kind of why I started the whole decluttering and the beginning of the year, so it's a lot less stuff to go through, and then I can focus on the detail cleaning throughout the next couple months, and then my goal by the summer was to have the whole house done, and then I can start doing other things like room refreshes and makeovers I've been trying to do. But here we are, end of May, and I still have yet to even finish my cleaning. But I will take solace in knowing that I'm doing my best, and I will get there. And again, I know I'm not alone in this, which is one reason why I started this YouTube channel in the beginning. I've watched other people struggle as well. Most of those people I watch tend to have ADHD as well, or other health issues that keep them from doing everyday tasks. I've said in one of my posts previous that I have been recently diagnosed with PCOS, which has now been renamed to PMSOS. I don't even remember what the acronym is, but it's just a new name because really it's not just about your ovaries. It is about an all over metabolic problem, and which is why most people with PCOS are now PMOS. You're just constantly tired. You're just so fatigued. It doesn't matter how much sleep you get. It takes a lot for me to get in the mood, and then when I'm finally in the mood, then my ADHD seems to take over, where I just I don't know. And I don't like to start things if I can't finish them, so I tend not to even start. It's just a hard cycle to break, and I'm trying my best. But as you can see, all this garbage that was just left in the drawers, just random plugs, wires, crayons, tickets, keys, stickers, you name it. Anything that my kids could have put in there, they probably put in there. But I'm almost done cleaning this out here. I just put back some basic things that we use, like remotes, tablets, calculator, some, I guess, dry erase markers, things that we actually do use. But which is the goal for an end table. It shouldn't have other stuff inside of it. The other thing I find that makes my daily routines hard is that I don't have set schedule for work. So there's a lot of days I work at nights, and then when I work at night, I don't want to do too much during the day because I don't want to be exhausted working at night, and then end up sleeping pretty late into the morning because I work till 10 or 11, so it takes time to kind of calm down once I get home. So it's usually about midnight or 1. And then there's days like the weekends where I work early in the morning, and that really messes my schedule up because then I'm not sleeping since I'm normally going to bed at 1, and now I have to be up at 5 to get ready for work. So I'm at work all day, just exhausted and hyped up on caffeine, which doesn't really work for me anyway. Then I want to come home and take a nap, or I'm just so tired I don't want to do anything. So even though I have a whole day to basically do things with my family, I don't want to. And yeah, I really am just trying to find a new job, something that is not as stressful, something that is set hours, set days off, just so I can have a better routine in my life. And I think that's just a lot of what's been really an issue my entire adulthood is I've never had a consistent work schedule. I work all hours, all days, and it's just not good. And I noticed a few times in my adult career where I did have a somewhat set schedule because I was going to school. I noticed that even though I was working and going to school and I was a young mother and pregnant at the same time, this was about 13 years ago when I was in beauty school. My daughter was only like 2.5 at that time, or 3, and I was pregnant with my son. And you think I'd be really stressed out working, going to school, and taking care of a toddler and being pregnant, but from what I recall, I handled it very well. But also, I lost a lot of weight, which is probably why I got pregnant, but I guess having that routine really did help. And I've noticed several other times when I've tended to lose weight was because I was on a better set schedule of eating around the same time and working the same hours. But those times were just not very often. It was just for a couple months here and there, and then I was back to working crazy hours again. So yeah, here I'm just going through all my makeup. I went through this pretty recently, so I didn't really have to go too much, but I think I was just kind of reorganizing into different bins at this point, and just really making sure that I was planning on keeping everything. But a lot of this makeup I got through Ipsy. I was subscribed to that for over 10 years. It was like 10 or 11 years, and it was cheap. It was like $10 a month. I guess it went up $1 or $2 a couple years after doing it. But I mean, you get a lot of good products doing Ipsy. I just stopped doing it because, I kind of didn't want to waste any more money on it, even though I kind of didn't feel like it was a waste of money, but it was like almost $15 at this point, and I noticed I was getting a lot of the same products, or it wasn't quite the variation. And I also just realized I had just such an exceeding amount of products that I just wasn't using or wasn't even going to be able to use before it was expired. So I just decided I'm going to stop it for now, use what I have, and maybe in a couple of years I'll get back into it if I'm interested. But yeah, I wouldn't say it wasn't a great subscription, because it certainly was. That's why I did it for over a decade. But at a certain point, it was just too much for me. And again, a lot of these products I never even opened. I mean, so they were still fine, and they only start to expire once you open them, from what I gather. But then there were some that I just don't think I was ever going to use. I'm not really big on like face masks and things to put in your hair. Pretty plain when it comes to that. Also eyeliners I don't really use much. I don't really care to use highlighting and bronzer. I'm basic. I put foundation on, a little bit of eyeshadow, and mascara every day. And to be honest, I probably don't even use any of that either. I just like to use it. But yeah, here just shows all my makeup. And this is probably not even half of what I've gained throughout the years. I definitely threw a lot away or gave a lot away. But here I'm putting them in different containers. I'm using one for like foundation and highlighting and bronzer. I think a whole other one for blushes. And then I have like a bag that I put my lipsticks in. Another thing I don't really use too often. Then I have a container filled with just face masks and that kind of stuff. There's also eyeliners and mascara and stuff as well, but I think I just had those in another container. Plus all those brushes that you see, those are all from Ipsy, and there has been a few that I've definitely thrown out throughout the years. So yeah, it's a lot. And like I said, for about $60 to $70 a year for a couple of years, seems like a lot of money, but again, this was probably only half of what I've ever received. Also through Ipsy, you get perfumes, you get nail polish. I'm sure there's been other beauty things that I've received that, I can't recall off the top of my head what they were, but you receive all sorts of beauty things. So this is not even, again, not everything that I have received. I was just thinking to myself, like, this cannot possibly be everything. And as you can see through some of these palettes, that a lot of them weren't even really used. There's a few that I use pretty well. And look, you can see I have two of the same palette there. Not sure if you can hear the airplanes in this voiceover. I really hope not, but I do apologize if you do. They're really loud right now. Every year around Memorial Day, the Blue Angels, I don't know where they're from, Florida maybe? But they come up here to the state capitol where I'm from, and they do a performance, and I think they're just practicing now, because the performance is on Saturday and Sunday and maybe Monday if I'm recalling correctly. I'm not sure. All I know is this is the weekend and they do it, and I'm about 5 miles from the airport, but we can always see the airplanes, and sometimes they're really freaking low. It's crazy. When you're miles away from an airport, you wouldn't expect that. At least I never would expect that. And but right now, like I said, they're flying around and they're doing their whatever they're doing, like the creative flying that they do. I don't know what the name is for, but yeah, it's pretty loud right now. I'm about to soon head outside to see if I can see them, because I do find it pretty fascinating. Last year was the first year we actually went to see them. We didn't pay to go to see them. You can go into the airport and do all that, but I think the tickets were like $80 or something for a person. I don't know, some ungodly amount. But we just sat outside like everybody else from the area and watched them, and you got the same experience. But yeah, I'm not sure what we'll be able to do it this year. I unfortunately am working all 3 days of the weekend, starting tomorrow. Kind of bummed about it. I didn't request off like I should have. I'm used to being a store manager where I can pick my hours when I want to work for the most part, and this year I did not. But it is what it is. But it is one of the reasons why I really would like a different job, something that's more of a Monday through Friday. I like to have my weekends off, just like most people in America do. That's when things go on, and that's when kids are out of school, and I'd rather take the time to spend it with my family, which is another reason why I struggle with keeping the house maintained, because I'd rather spend what time I have with my kids, even though they're teenagers now and rather not be bothered with me. They would rather be in their rooms, but we want to do things with them as much as we can, because we only have a couple more years until they're off to college or whatever they decide to do. But look at how dirty this water is. I mean, it's not dirt, it's from the different colored eyeshadows and blushes, obviously, but yeah, this was very much needed. I mean, as someone who went to beauty school, I should know better than to use the same brush for months, let alone probably years, but that's what I did. So I'm just taking the time to finish cleaning. Hopefully I can keep this up, as well as some maintenance to do. Probably should be doing it on like a monthly basis. And here's a bunch of palettes and other things I think I'm keeping or throwing. Some of them I might be throwing out. But I do keep old makeup. I don't give it away, of course, because nobody, unless it's something I haven't used. But I actually keep it to use for art. I haven't exactly started anything yet, but I plan to use it to create art with it. Something I started to do years ago, but again, never finished, so I'm trying to get back into doing that. All part of the realization that I just need to stop thinking about things and just doing things. But yeah, this is how under the sink got. I at some point just started to just throw crap underneath there because I figured, well, I'm gonna have to clean it out eventually anyway. I will say, since cleaning under the sink, I have maintained it pretty well. And you'll see at the end, not a lot of stuff actually ends up going back in there. So I did dwindle down a little bit on the cleaning supplies, and you know, that's the goal of being somebody who's organized and declutters. Because if you're just throwing stuff in a cabinet and it's out of sight, out of mind, you don't know you have it, and then you're just gonna repurchase stuff. And I don't know about everybody else, but I live paycheck to paycheck, and I don't have the funds to just keep constantly buying new things and then watching this stuff just go to waste, because this stuff doesn't last forever, you know. Once it's open, it does go bad. But these containers that I bought probably about 5 years ago, they have worked out so well. I'm pretty sure they're all from Target, maybe a few are from like the Dollar General, but these ones specifically I think are from Target. And yeah, they are just phenomenal. They fit everything I need. You'll see here in a minute that there's section, like these sections right here, so you can make a big space or a small space, and it accommodates exactly what you need. And that's what I like, because in here I keep my magic erasers, my scrub mommies or daddies, the steel wool pads that I use. I have Swiffers in there. Unfortunately, I really don't have a spot for the mop heads, so they kind of either just sit on the top or on the side. Even this little like Lazy Susan turn thing, whatever you call it, I keep my main products on. And yeah, I know it's pretty gross looking under the sink. I really don't care. Nobody's in there looking at it. We've had a couple times where the water leaked from the sink, so it has stained a little bit of, or like the wood kind of peeled up, but again, I don't care. When we have money to replace the cabinets in years to come, then I'll worry about making it look better then. But for right now, not a big deal. And on this side, I put the trash bags, as you see, and I'm going through all. Yeah, got a big mess there from some hand soap. I put it underneath there upside down to try to get most of it out, and well, it just leaked out anyway. But like I was saying, I'm putting back all the different cleaners that we use. And I'm really trying to just get rid of some of this stuff, and I'm just never going to buy it again. Like Old English we really don't use. I don't have anything like that nice for wood, but I do keep it. I have some insect repellent and stuff like that we do use, especially when we go camping. And then for basic cleaning, I really just want to try to stick it to a couple items. So once I use some of this stuff up, I will be probably making like homemade cleaners, you know, the kind with just like vinegar or alcohol and some oils or whatever, just to keep it cheap, and they work just as well. No reason to be going out and buying $4 to $5 for a bottle of something that you can make from home for like 15 cents. And then here I keep a couple of my brushes for cleaning, like the bottles and stuff. But yeah, it's starting to look so much nicer under here. You can see everything. Everything's within reach. I just slid those gloves in there because we definitely use those. And in a minute here, you're going to see all the products that I either relocated to the bathroom or I got rid of. I mean, it's a pretty big space, but things just need to stay tidy, you know. And there I keep a couple towels. I had a lot more than that. I'm assuming they got thrown out or hiding somewhere in this house. Who knows? But yeah, everything's looking a lot more organized, and like I said, I've been keeping it that way for a couple months now. But my next videos I have coming out hopefully soon. I might have some shorts starting as well. I've noticed that people really tend to watch shorts. I know that I do personally. So I think I'm going to start mixing some shorts in with my long form videos. And I have some outside activities that we've been working on, cleaning the car. Soon we're going to be mulching around the front of our house. Yeah, just trying to get things accomplished, trying to do things when it's nice out. It was 90-some degrees here the past like 5 days, so yeah, too hot to be doing anything outside. And now we're having rainy 60-degree days again. Not ideal weather for being outside. It's just crazy, but the weather really is another reason why it takes a long time to get certain things done as well when it comes outside. But I do want to thank you for your time today. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you are excited to see what is to come. Some before and afters here. Alright, well, have a great day, and thank you.